Yo guys, how's it going? My name's Umzi and welcome back to another Fault video. This time around we're going to be doing a tier list on all the heroes currently in Fault. This is the 14 heroes that you can see down below here. This includes Boris, Countess, Gideon, Greystone, Chimera, Quang, Bellica, Murdoch, Muriel, Gnarbash, Severog, Sparrow, forgot her name for a second, Sparrow, Steel and Twin Blast. Basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be telling you guys why I think someone deserves to be in a specific place, why I think they're broken, why I think they should be nerfed, or the complete opposite, why I think they should be buffed, or like just something that needs to change about their hero, or why they're perfect exactly where they are. Let's get literally straight into the video. Start off with my main champion, Severog. As much as I love Severog, I think he is literally one of the champions that needs to be abused, and I'm pretty sure that they've already confirmed that he's getting nerfed in the next upcoming patch 0.3. This is because they haven't released specifically what they're going to be nerfing, but overall Severog's kit, if you're, first of all, he is an offlaner slash jungler. I believe that Severog is honestly one of the best champions to take into a team comp. First of all, because he has 2 items of CC, he has an escape, and he has stacks which eventually late game show that he is literally the only champion in the whole game who scales. Meaning if you let a Severog just like go onto offlane by himself and not do anything about it, he's going to scale and he's going to 1v5 the whole enemy team. His root, his subjugate, first of all, the AoE around that area is not the best, meaning even if you don't stand completely in the area, you still get subjugated and you still get rooted, which is honestly really annoying. Being a Severog player, that's really good for me, but for the person I'm catching in my subjugate, it's not the best. But yeah, overall, I believe that Severog should be placed in this position. Next person that we're going to go to is Gnarbash. Don't ask why, I'm going to literally choose our random order. Gnarbash, right now, I believe that he's in this area where he's not technically broken, but he is still one of the meta picks. This is because he's literally, in my opinion, the best support to be choosing so far. This is because compared to the other supports, his kit is genuinely not buggy compared to, like, for example, Steel and Muriel, or he's just the favored pick compared to someone like Muriel. This is because he has a heal in his kit, he has a movement speed buff in his kit, and he has a knock up and a stun and a slow. He literally has all the CC you need, not only to affect the enemy team, but also some sort of control towards your own team. So for example, the speed buff and the healing that he gives. This can be really good because first of all, the stun, the thunk that he has on his right click, it lands 24, like it lands 24/7. If you have a good thunker, like honestly, there's no dodging that thunk. The only way to dodge the thunk is to get War Rages and have that bubble, and after that they're still going to take you once they get rid of the bubble. This is because the hitbox in the thunk is honestly pretty big, and even if you don't land this thunk, it sometimes does end up hitting. Secondly, the range that you can throw the thunk is really good. Honestly, it's fucking amazing. So yeah, that's why I put Gnarbash in this position. Comparing him to the other supports, for example, we can go Steel. The reason why I'm going to put Steel in good is because I believe that his right click and his Q are somewhat buggy right now. If they would do, because for example, when you use your right click, at times it doesn't actually register. It says stun on your screen, but it doesn't register as a stun on whoever you have stunned, so they just carry on moving. This is why it can get really annoying to pick Steel sometimes, because you're aiming to stun them, but you don't actually end up stunning them. But despite this very big issue, because his whole right click doesn't technically work sometimes, I still put him in good because of his CC. I'm pretty sure his kit probably has the most amount of CC in the whole game. He has 1 knock up, he has 1 stun, and he has a second knock up from his ultimate, and he has a slow from his E. Therefore, I want to put Steel in this category. Next support will go for Muriel. And Muriel is honestly just gonna go for might as well AFK instead. Don't get me wrong, Muriel, in my opinion, she is probably the best pre-6 support due to her damage and her Q. However, after 6, she just gets outlaned by Gnarbashes and Steels. There's no coming back from it. First of all, this is because they changed her right click, so her right click only gives a speed buff, so it doesn't give the shield like it used to in Paragon times. Her ultimate has a really bad lock on, so first of all, you can't lock on to anyone that's like very close to you, and second of all, it's hard to lock on if your whole team is like grouped up in a bunch. So if there's a team fight, it's really hard to lock on. But yeah, so if the developers can fix these two issues with Muriel, so giving her in my opinion, her right click does deserve to have a shield because she has no healing. So her right click should also have a shield, and her lock on needs to be better for her ultimate. If these two are fixed, she can definitely move up to at least like good pick in my opinion, because she is a very good support. Like the kit is genuinely really good. It's pretty buggy and just not amazing at its current stage. Now, coming up next, we'll go for the rest of the junglers. Let's start with Chimera. Chimera, I believe, should be put into good pick. I don't think he's broken right now because of his like early game. His early game, he's really easy to lane against. To jungle against if you're taking someone, for example, like Severog. If you like, what I'm trying to base this on is if you put Severog and Chimera in the same game as enemy junglers, you're going to, in my opinion, a Severog will always win because of the early game and then eventually late game too, because Chimeras, they just get out jungled if you know how to counter jungle pretty well. Now after Chimera, let's go, and also actually I want to mention one thing about Chimera is that they changed his passive where it gets locked on a specific amount of stacks, and I believe right at the start his level 1 passive, it gives him around 20 HP per second, which is honestly nothing compared to what it used to be. So he can't no longer like 1v1 or even solo prime at like mid game. You have to wait until late game to do it, and you need stuff like Robo Miracles. Now, next person I want to talk about is Boris. Boris is it's honestly something that you should be abusing right now. Boris is just broken. His right click has too much damage, his Q gives him way too much speed, his E gives him unstoppable for I think 4 seconds or 8 seconds, one of the two, and every time he gets a kill, he gets 20 stacks back. So all he has to do is get a few kills and he's back to being unstoppable once again. Like, it's really dumb and annoying to verse Boris, to be honest. Now, next person that I want to put on the list is Countess. Countess, I'm going to put in not broken but meta. This is because Countesses can literally one-shot any ADC that she wants, and obviously taking an ADC out of a team fight can change the whole team fight for your team for the better. But the reason why I'm not going to put her in abuse till they get nerfed is because she has probably the highest skill cap, I'd say. Because of her Q, because of her like right click and like when you should right click, or obviously you want to right click when you're about to kill someone or as the finishing blow, when you want to Q in order to juke someone, stuff like that. It's just she's not really that viable if you don't know how to play her. You're going to end up feeding, you're going to end up just making mistakes, and you're going to get punished by the enemy laners. Especially if you take her off lane against something like a Severog or something like a Steel or a Quang, and especially Greystone because of his ultimate. You're just going to get outlaned. Now, next on the list, let's go for some Quang. Quang, I've decided to put into good pick. Originally in 0.1, I would have put him in at least broken, if not abused, because of his the bug that was happening with his energy armor shredding, sorry. But right now, in my opinion, he just deserves to be in good pick. First of all, because off lane he is a very good pick. It's just that against the other offlaners, for example Greystone, he's not going to do well once they've built armor. Before they build armor, however, he is very good because you can just spam poke with his abilities and it's just broken. So if you end up versing something like a Countess or even a Twin Blast, which I've seen quite often on offlane, you can normally 1v1 pretty easily without even taking damage. Especially with his passive shields, if you group it up with Titan and you group it up with Siren's Call, you can really get a lot from his shields plus his combo from his Q, E right click, or your E right click Q, whichever you have to go for. Next person that I'm gonna go for is actually Murdoch. Murdoch, in my opinion, is probably the second best ADC in the game right now. He is good, it's just, in my opinion, Twin Blast is currently a little bit better, which is also why I'm gonna put Twin Blast in good pick. Now, I'll go over this right now, both of them at the same time. The reason why I'm putting Twin Blast above is because, in my opinion, because of his DPS that he can put down, he does way more damage early game and eventually late game too if you can build him properly and you stay ahead of enemy Murdochs or Sparrows. Furthermore, he also has an escape. Obviously, Murdoch does have his shield, which pushes people back. But for example, if a Countess just comes to you and you push her back, she can just Q to you instantly. Whereas Twin Blast, he can use his slow grenades, plus he can use his escape. And eventually, when you have K Castle on both of these guys, he has technically 2 escapes, not just 1. Now, the final ADC that I want to go over is Sparrow. This is a just don't, honestly. Sparrow is the type of person that if you get into really, really late game, maybe you have a chance. Pre-game, your only good thing about Sparrow that I can say is probably her passive and her piercing shot. The piercing shot is really, really good. Honestly, if you keep poking with that, it's amazing. But other than that, everything else that she has is genuinely not amazing. So it's just not a viable pick right now until she gets her buffs. Belica, on the other hand, genuinely a very, very good pick. Belica, one reason why I'm putting her in meta is because she can, not only can she mid lane, she can support, she can ADC, and she can off lane. She can literally go every lane other than jungle. Furthermore, she has a stun, she has a mana reducing ability and an ability that does passive damage depending on a team fight. So she can affect literally everyone in a team fight at once. Furthermore, her right click comes back really quickly and it's like a 2 or 3 second cooldown late game. Plus it does like 300-400 damage. So she's amazing. Like honestly, one of the best champions. Plus her combo can normally one-shot countesses or other mid laners such as Gideon. Now, talking about Gideon, I'm going to put him in good pick. This is because if you know how to play Gideon, you can genuinely do really well in your lane. This is because if you abuse his passive, you can normally just get off 3 rocks and literally just do damage. He is my current like counter to Belica because you can just stay far back and just keep throwing rocks. But if she does land a stun on you, you're pretty much fucked. Other than that, I would say that she is like a bit better of a mid laner than Gideon, sorry, and basically counters Gideon. Gideon counters Belica a little bit, Belica counters. It's like a circle that they go in. And finally, I want to talk about Greystone. Greystone is honestly a very good pick. If not, actually, you know, I'm going to put him in meta pick because in my opinion, he is the best offlaner. This is because he can literally split push so hard, it just becomes impossible for anyone to just go up against him other than maybe a Severog offlane. Even then, when you come to gank Greystone, not only does he probably have his ultimate, he also has an escape. Furthermore, currently there's a bug with, I think, Matter Limiter, the card, which slows enemies on ability hit. His Q is meant to do physical damage. However, his Q registers as an ability, so that actually ends up slowing people. So if you combo him with Matter Limiter, it can really, really destroy an enemy who you're chasing because they can literally just not run away. But yeah, this is my current tier list build in my opinion. Obviously my opinion, so your opinions are going to differ from this. If you guys think anything different, please leave it down in the comments below. Maybe you can change my mind, maybe I can change yours. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe. I will be trying to upload a brand new tier list every single time a patch goes up, which means as long as the second 0.3 comes up, I'm going to be updating my tier list, and I'm pretty sure this Severog and Boris are going to be put down just because they are both getting nerfs, and I'm 99% sure Muriel is also getting a buff. Therefore, she will be brought up as well, and she will be picked much more often. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy it, and peace!